Good evening, Tottenham fans. I hope you've all had a really good Christmas. I've had a brilliant one. I got some amazing gifts. My wife bought me this as well as another really nice thing I'll show you probably on the next video. But yeah, the new Tottenham kit. And I'll tell you what, the kits this year are a lot better. I'll tell you what, I've got the black one and the yellow one now, and they're both absolutely brilliant. I love them. Anyway, hope you've all had a really good Christmas, and back to talking about Spurs again. Well, if Spurs want to compete for titles, want to compete for Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, they want to compete on all four fronts. We keep getting told a lot of PR from Spurs, I suppose you can call it. Most of the time it's BS. Most of the time they're just gaslighting us and lying. It's going to be very hard to believe it until we see it. But if Spurs really want to mean business in the January window, we're going to have to sign some top quality players. But to do that, you're going to have to be cold, and you're going to have to be ruthless to get rid of the players that you do not want to be in the squad, players that you're not using, players that you feel that are letting you down, players that you feel that are coming to the end of their contracts. Do you want to renew their contract or not, or just get rid? Spurs need to be more ruthless. They need to be cold, and we need space in that squad. We can't just keep signing players and then keeping ones on. You know, we can't just keep players here just for the sake of it or for sentimental reasons. If you want to be a top club and you want to change things around, because things are really bleak at Spurs at the moment, and if you really want to help your manager and back your manager, you need to be cold. You need to be ruthless. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 7 guys that I think Spurs need to be cold on at the moment, and really try and make some space in that squad and bring in some healthy competition for that first team, or even people that move the needle, like Thomas Frank said. So the first guy I'm going to talk about actually is Radu Dragusin. Now, there's a lot of talk about Radu at the moment, maybe being loaned out, which I think would be a better idea for us. Loaned out with a what's it called? Loaned out with an option to buy for the opposition club. Now, there's clubs interested, like Napoli, Juventus, AC Milan, all interested in signing him up. He's only 22 years old, remember. He's still quite young. He might be 23 now. I think he's still 22 though. He might, you know, still be a really top quality defender. We haven't seen a lot of him lately because obviously his massive injury. I would not sell him straight away, because obviously his value has got a chance of going up if he actually plays some football. He's a Romanian international, so he's not a bad player. He played in the system last year with Ange Postecoglou. It really did not suit him. Maybe in a more pragmatic style under Frank, it might be suit him a lot better. But if he needs game time, and I don't think he's going to get game time unless we have a mass injury crisis again. Plus, I think we might be bringing in more defenders as well. So we'll see with that. But I think we should loan him. If we were going to do anything, loan him out, and you know, give them the option to buy. And if you know, if he does really well in Italy, and you know, we can bump up the price a little bit, can't we, for Radu? Because at the moment he's a right foot centre back. You know, we've got Danso to cover, Romero to cover. So we do need a left-sided centre-back, and I think replacing him with a left-sided centre-back makes a lot of sense. You've got that, I think his name's Sensi from Bournemouth. He's only got 6 months left on his contract, and he's a left-footed centre-back who is pretty decent, to be honest. So that could be an option there. Now, the other guy who I really love, and he's a legend at the club, is Ben Davies. He's... you know, I think he's got 6 months left on his contract as well. It was just renewed in the summer for a year. I don't think we should hold on to him anymore. He's not getting any minutes. I think he's got, altogether about 30 minutes this season, probably less than that. If you're not using your squad players, what does that say? That means you not really need them. Yeah, again, we could have mass injuries, but I do honestly believe if we, you know, sold Ben Davies and loaned out Dragusin, we could easily bring in another defender and be okay, because we've still got Kota Takai here, remember, a Japanese international who hasn't kicked a ball yet for us. Still got Kevin Danso here as well, and if we sign someone up as well, that'd be 5 centre-backs, should be enough for the second half of the season. Also, another guy I want to talk about is Rodrigo Bentancur. Now, this will probably divide the fan base, because a lot of people would probably want to keep Rodrigo in, but For me, he's just fallen off a cliff form-wise. I did a video about it. Check it out, about how much his form has dipped. His progressive passes is halved since he's been under Frank as well. He's not the same player he used to be. He when he first came in, he was a top player. He progressed on the ball. He was skillful on the ball. He was getting out of tight spaces. He was tackling hard, scoring goals, getting assists as well. But he's just complete shadow of the player he was before. And like I said, if you want to be ruthless, bring someone in to replace him and sell him on. I know he's just signed a new contract. I understand that, but that doesn't mean you can't sell a player. It just means you can ask more money for him rather than him having 6 months left on his contract. Now he's got 3.5 years, which means you can get more money for the guy. I do honestly believe if we got in a much better ball playing, progressive player midfielder, instead of Bentancur, someone that can dictate games and actually take a game like from the scruff of the neck, I do think it would be a good decision to let Bentancur go. Now, another guy I want to, we should be cold and ruthless about is Yves Bissouma. I like the guy personally. I've got nothing personal against him. It's just that he's made too many mistakes now. He's letting the teammates down, letting the manager down, letting the fans down so many times now. He's only got 6 months left on his contract. Rip up his contract, say, see you later, then replace the guy. Because if you want to be ruthless, you want to strengthen your squad, you're going to have to get rid of these sort of people, and you need to refresh and revamp your squad. Now, another guy this is also going to cause division probably, and that's Mathis Tel. I think this guy has got bundles of potential. I still think he's going to be a top quality player, but he's not getting played by Thomas Frank. And for his own sake, I think we should loan him out so he can show us what he can do at another club. And then hopefully he comes back with a lot of confidence in the summer. I think he's going to succeed at Spurs. I really do. But if he's not playing, he's not going to be able to show anybody anything. He hasn't hardly played any minutes, and I think he's got a goal, 2 goals and an assist as well. So he's doing bits when he comes on, but he's just not getting played. And I think that's because of all the attacking intent we've got in our squad at the minute. And, you know, with people like Kulusevski and Solanke coming back, he's going to go down the pecking order even more. So I just think, put him out on loan, show us what you can do, mate. Come back with confidence, and he can be booming. Now, another guy I like, and he's always going to be a legend because of the Europa League final. You guessed it, Brennan Johnson. Now, there's been a lot of talk of him going to Crystal Palace in the January window, and honestly, I think he would suit Crystal Palace a lot more. He is an absolute lethal finisher if you give him a chance, but we just don't play to his strengths. His strengths are through balls, getting on the end of it and scoring goals, or getting on the end of crosses, low crosses at the back post. You know, playing him in and letting him have chances at shooting a goal, because he's absolutely lethal. He scores so many goals, like when you play to his strengths, but the other side to his game, when you give the ball to feet, he just seems to get it and play it backwards. His work rate running backwards is not the best either. His technical ability is not great either. So it's hard for him to make an impact unless he's played to his strengths, and Frank don't play to his strengths in Frank's system. So I would get the money for Brennan Johnson and replace him with another forward player. And whoever that is, it could be someone like Savinho, who would make more of an impact, but probably wouldn't score as many goals, to be honest. But he might set up a lot more goals. He might get a few more assists. So it depends who we bring in to replace Johnson. If we're letting Johnson go and we bring in someone similar, it would be a pointless thing to do. So we'll see what happens there. Another guy I think we should just let go and let him play some football, and that's Scarlett. Now, he's 21 years old now. So we either sell him now or loan him for the intent of him playing. But he's not going to get game time. When it was just Richie was playing 2 games a week and Scarlett still wasn't getting the sniff. I don't think he's ever going to be played. And I think he was good enough to play as well. And so I feel real sorry for him. I think if he goes somewhere else, he's going to set the world on fire. I think he's going to be a brilliant player. I do. He's just not making it at Spurs at the moment. And being 21 years old, for his own sake, he needs to leave. And If we loaned him, fair enough, that's great. But if we sold him as well, we can get some money for him and try and bring in another forward player. Now, this 7 players that I've mentioned is like the core of this team. You've got Dragushin, Davis, Bentancur, Bissouma, Tel, Johnson, and Scarlett. That's a lot of squad space being taken up for players that simply are not good enough for Spurs at the moment. And if we want to be ruthless, we want to be cold, we need to do things like this. Clear up some squad space, bring in some top quality players in, and it could turn your season around. Remember that year when we got Kulusevski and Bentancur in, and in that January window, and it completely changed our season, and we ended up finishing 4th that year. But those two came in, they were a breath of fresh air. Kulusevski couldn't stop scoring and getting assists, and Bentancur was at his absolute best in that midfield. So it can change. Imagine if we bought 3 or 4 players and they all made that impact. That's nearly 50% of your team all making an impact. And plus, you know, other players might come into form as well, like Xavi and Kudos and Mawani, and, you know, and then all of a sudden, Kulusevski's back, Solanke's back, got loads of options, and all of a sudden it's looking good for Spurs. So that's the only positives I can take out of this season so far, is it can still turn around if we make the right signings in January. But are they all mouth? Are ENIC all mouth, or are they just gaslighting us again? Or are they actually going to put their money where their mouth is and actually concentrate on sport and success? We will see in January. And I'll tell you now, if they don't, there's going to be a lot of angry Spurs fans basically not putting up with all the lies anymore. So honestly, I just think we should be cold. We should be ruthless. We should get these players out the door as fast as we can. I know it's not as easy as that. This is not Premier Manager or anything like that. It's not easy just to get players out the door and get buyers for these players. And it's not easy to bring players in, especially in the January window. It's not easy for players to uproot and move to other teams halfway through a season. So I understand all of that. But if Spurs had 6 months worth of planning, this should have already been planned by now. Let me just see what happens. But there could be a turnaround in our season if we get things right in January, but we will see. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's video. Who would you sell in the January window? And have you got any idea of who you would bring in to replace them? Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.